this week, the practice is citrus in watercolor. And the reason is it's a lot of fun to do these little segments right in here. And I also want to talk about, this is a good place to practice the subtlety of mixing shadow colors for, say, a yellow or an orange, right? So we are going to practice all of those things. I know I did this with some of you in this class last year, so I tried to make this a little bit more challenging. And I found this great image on Unsplash. So we'll have an orange and a lemon slice, and then the lemon and these sort of greens in the background. So the first thing we're going to do is draw this. I do not want it gridded. I want you to, but I do want you guys to get things in the right places. So we're going to spend a little time. No, wrong color. Don't use orange on an orange thing. Let's try blue. So I want to talk to you about how to structure. By the way, how do we, if we're going to draw this, what are we going to start with? What's the first thing we're going to draw?
The orange slice.
Yes, why?
Sorry?
Why?
Because it's in the front, so you have something to relate to.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to draw the thing that we can see first, right? In front, exactly. So the first thing we're going to do when we come here is I'm going to see that if I have, so I'm just checking here on the source, the height of this orange slice. And I'm seeing that if I come up here, one more orange slice up contains the rest of the drawing, right? So when I come down here, I can kind of randomly decide, like you don't have to have this much white space. I can randomly decide where to put my orange slice. And I can kind of randomly decide how big it is. But I do need to make sure that I keep things proportionally correct. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my decide my vertical distance, which is right here. I'm going to go up one and mark that because I know that underneath this is where everything else will go. The next thing I'm going to check is like, and this is nice, this is one of those very symmetrical pieces, is to see that this orange slice is exactly as wide as it is long. So I can, and that it's really divided down the middle. If I come here, let's see, I'll even mark it. The middle is like right here. Yep. Right. So I can draw a line. I can find the halfway point here. Let's guess. You can use a ruler if you want to. You can see I'm using my finger, right? And then at the halfway point, I can divide very awkwardly. I can divide this in half, and I can know that like these. So basically, these are like 1, 2, 3, 4. These lines are all the same size. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So yeah, actually probably the easiest thing to do is to make this cute little star shape, right? Of equidistant points. So once I do that, of course, then it's easier to kind of get this orange slice. Notice I'm not exactly sketching it and I'm making my drawing fairly light. So these are all equidistant, if you remember. So once you get this, you just come out here to mark this point on this side and here to mark the point on this side. And then we're going to draw in this kind. Actually, it's interesting. There are kind of 2 layers of this orange. There's this kind of light yellow layer, which we're going to very lightly paint, but keep white. And why are we doing citrus? Because citrus are subtle and also super satisfying. Like they really look good, even when you feel like you don't know what you're doing. It's really, I like having things like that where you're like, I know at the end everybody's going to wind up. And then if you look really closely, you'll see that there's this little orange edge. So I'm going to sketch that in too. All the way around. Weird, we never have anything this symmetrical in our sketches. So let me, where's my phone? Ah, there it is. Hang on. I'll let you guys catch up. I'm going to go get. So here we are. Whoops, let me get back to our thread. Our renters have just come in and they were petting Mooka. So I was hearing all these oohs and ahs out there because she is so darling. Here we go. All right, so here's our first sketch, kind of layer of the sketch. And then, so this, there is this white kind of rindy area, which we're gonna spell out. It kind of comes up above and below. It kind of comes out a little bit here. We're gonna obviously draw that out because we want to keep it light, right? And then there's a tiny little dark area in here, a little bit of a medium area in a couple places. And then what I'd like you to do is get in the orange slices. Pay attention to where the lines actually are. So this slice kind of starts a little bit to the left of the center. And I want you to bring 2 lines in here because you're also going to keep those light. You may not paint them at all. That doesn't take too long, actually. It feels like it should, but it really doesn't. You might find yourself kind of reshaping. And if you want to, you can also kind of arch this a little bit more. But we definitely want 2 lines because we want to preserve this space and we want the pencil structure to support what we're doing. Really, as always, we're going to be spending most of our time drawing and mixing. Very, very little of our time because watercolor is so expressive painting. But hey, it's never a bad thing spend too much time drawing. Notice I'm really trying to match where these are, not in this, you know, perfectly, even though this is about as perfectly symmetrical an object as I have ever given you to draw. We're still. Gesundheit.
Hi there. I just called a minute ago and I was asking about table reservations. Was that you I spoke to?
Hi, Marianne.
Hey, how
Are
are
you
you?
Good. Are you
everyone?
working on your special project?
I am.
Good.
I am.
Good girl. So I'm having talks on Monday, you guys, with the woman who's going to take over, who's going to teach abstract painting. I'm interested to know how many people in this group would be interested in that class. Is there a lot of interest in that class here?
I'm very interested.
I think she's gonna structure it around, and by the way, here's where we're gonna be finishing. I know that's a little, I know because it's, thank you, Eugene. Marianne, I had no idea you were even there. I'm sorry. Once I get into it, I'm kind of lost in a technical, I'm lost in the technical world. Thank you, Eugene, for jumping in.
And thank you, Eugene.
I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Okay. Excellent. So once we have this guy in, we can then use these, right, this distance to help us determine how far up to go with the lemon slice in the background. So if I want to see how high up this lemon slice goes, interesting. It's a little bit less. It's almost halfway up the orange, a tiny bit more. So immediately I can go to my halfway point of my orange, come up, mark it. Right, so this is where my lemon comes up. And then I'm probably able to sketch where that goes because I've put in these guys, so I can probably see, I can see that this rind kind of comes down here. This rind kind of lines up. This little string here kind of lines up with this rind. So see how like once, this is why we draw what's in front first, right? Because then we use that to kind of line everything else up. Also, look at how much more of the white is in that lemon. So it's almost like this is like a setting, this is like a setting sun or a rising sun. It's really beautiful, actually. So I'm gonna get that in. Making sure that this is wide enough. And that on this side, I can see a little bit of the lemony edge, the yellow edge. So up here, I can only see the yellow part, like next to the white part of the rind. But over on this side, I can see a little bit more. So I want to make sure I add that in. It looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. And right, I can see this is pretty, this is, believe it or not, almost this circle, this kind of inner circle is kind of halfway, nearly halfway up the pulpy part of the lemon. Once again, I'm really focusing on outlining the white parts. These are the parts I don't want to paint. So white plays such the sort of, I don't want to even say white. I just want to say the unpainted area plays such an important role in watercolor because it helps give us variation in texture. Right, and then there's this kind of dark area here. And then it comes up like this. And then you should be able to see pretty clearly. Oops, this I think goes more straight out. Once again, we're going to do the same thing with the segments. We're going to give ourselves 2 little lines, both for structure and because we don't want to paint that. We're going to go to the next one. Notice how much around the edges, there's these white areas of the lemon. That's going to come into play later as we decide what to paint and what not to paint. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. This is the last one that comes on this side of the halfway point. This kind of comes over on the other side. Watercolor feels like such a meditation to me. I'm really understanding this time around. I wouldn't have even said I knew this like the last time around. I would say this time around, I'm really understanding how little you can do, how much you can do with so little in watercolor. Such there we go. Yep. And then of course we've got this lemon, which is in the background, which is probably, which starts about here and rises. Remember, it doesn't go farther than here, than the halfway point. It comes a little bit underneath. Kind of just goes to about here. And I'm also sketching in, there's some nice, really good shadows for us to work on. Yeah, and then I'm going to say, let's skip the greens for now. If you want to add them in later, you can. I was more thinking that this might work as a, let's see. Yep. This might work much better as a looser background. But if you want to, you can of course totally add in the greens. Here is the drawing. Go ahead and send your drawings in, but take your time with them.
So I think I finished my doggy.
Let's see, send it in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's done for sure. For sure. Check it off the list. Move on to the next
Yeah.
one.
I am moving on to the next one.
Move on to the next one. My friends and I like to say, check that off the list. All right.
Yeah.
Get on to the next one. Don't get too caught up in the excitement of whatever it is you're working on. Just move it on to the next one. Let's see.
Yeah. I've started a new one.
Jean, I think this guy is leaning a touch too much. Can you make this a little bit straighter here? Really, this is a straight line across.
On top too?
This,
No, I know.
yes, on top too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, Jean, this is way too, This is way too tall. So notice, I just want you to see. So I want you to pay attention to, it's important to pay attention to, here, hold on, let me show you. This only goes as high as half the orange slice in the front. If you look and see yours, you'll see you go up higher. So this lemon slice in the back has to come down. That's what's looking off to me. This lemon slice should be only half.
But I like him.
But this is where you fall down, right?
Yeah.
You don't pay attention to the drawing. So I want you to pay attention to the drawing. I mean, you do what you want, but I'm pointing out you're not paying attention to the drawing. So he's cute, but he's not the right size. And it looks a little weird because this is farther back, so it needs to be smaller. That's the other thing. Oh, what's this, Diana?
Well, it's the beginning of a fountain, and it's going to become, it's going to become a cat sitting on the fountain drinking water.
Oh, the orange cat?
No, my old cat.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, the one that
I don't have a perfect picture, but I'll send what I have.
so you're putting him there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have an old photo that I'm gonna use.
Nice.
And I'm sending it now. So,
Let's see. Wait.
and I know the fountain is wrong. It's just,
Yeah. No, that's fine. Oh, you're Bengal.
yeah.
Tony. Oh, Sandra would really like to see that. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's good. You're on it.
It's gonna be,
I think it's a very compelling painting, even at the beginning. I think it's like right now it's looking compelling already. So the subject is good, the composition is good, and it reads well.
yeah, we'll see.
Everybody else, when you're done, send a picture in so I can look at the drawing and make you go back and fix it. Mean.
You're such a brutal teacher.
I am so brutal.
Brutal.
You know, it's funny. I used to feel so terrible, like I was so mean. And then I realized, Leah, don't worry. People like want you to tell them like what's wrong.
You don't learn otherwise.
Right?
So
Okay.
there was a drawing teacher
Good.
at Pratt.
Yeah.
Um,
Good, Jillian.
I didn't have him. His name was Giuseppe Sanfilippo.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two friends in his class, and we were freshmen, and it was the freshman foundation drawing class. And I'm not even kidding and joking. If he thought your homework was crap, he would literally throw it out the window.
I've had teachers like that. Jillian, this is great
His
proportionally.
kids came out crying.
I bet. Get in the
So
shadows.
Leah, you're not mean. You're really nice.
And get in
You're
the shadows.
nice.
Thank you, Darren.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Comparatively. And
So
Jillian,
if Leah's not throwing you out the window, you're good.
yeah. And Jillian, the other thing is make sure that these lines aren't too dark, but we distinctly have a white space preserved.
Yeah,
One.
they're a bit
Because
dark.
yeah, they're a little bit dark, and back here they're a little too skinny. So you want this to be, you need to make sure we preserve this. So
Okay.
this is what I mean, where the white space becomes really important in
I'll
watercolor
erase them and
painting.
Do it again.
Just just go back in and fix. It's perfectly, you don't have to change anything. You just have to add the shadows here and sort of thicken, but also make fairly light the lines back here. Also, there's a really cool
Yeah.
white area here that, you know, if you keep it, if you get it more dynamically, your painting is going to be more interesting. So let me take a picture, a close up, so you guys can really see it of this. So that area, this kind of center area, is kind of awesome. Let's see. So you don't want to like even though your one's tendency is to want to get this done quickly, make this look like a perfect bicycle wheel. What's going on here? Something is getting in. Ah, there we go. I was wondering what was going on here. Sorry. We'll be doing lemons in class tomorrow too, if you guys, and we did them in class last night, all different subject, all different arrangements. So you can practice again and again. Lemons are really, and oranges are important because we're going to be mixing shadows and we need to make sure we don't make them too intense. Oh, and speaking of shadows, I'm going to get my shadow underneath. And also, it's kind of hard to see. I think it's lighting from this side. Would you guys say the light's coming from this side? There's barely any shadow, but I'm pretty sure the shadows of the fruits are kind of on this side. I mean, I certainly
Yeah,
don't.
you can see it on the half lemon.
Yeah, you can't really, yeah, it's definitely, you can see it more. I mean, certainly nothing's going this way, which means that the light has to, oh yeah, and you can see it over here. This is really interestingly lit though, because you can't, and if you want to, of course, you can add in the leaves. I am not going to, I don't really, and I'm happy to talk to you about how to mix those colors, but I don't think this painting really needs that. Just wondering why. And Jessica, feel free to send us over what you're working on.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
I'm
are you
probably not
working on?
going to today. I've just decided to start a new series. I got myself an iPad of my own that I don't have to share with my daughter
Yay!
in March. And I have been doing all of my painting planning in Procreate because digital,
I've heard it's great.
it's so fast. It's just so fast. If I was a teenager or in my 20s, I'd be 100% a digital painter. I'm sorry to say it. I need to be away from screens. Like, I have very specific reasons why I'm not a digital painter, and I've actually put a lot of thought into it. However, it's another medium, and I think it's an important one to be familiar with. And I am familiar with it because, you know, I know Photoshop. And when I was a teenager, I did actually do some digital painting, like but back before it was like very good. But as far as planning paintings, it's amazing.
I've heard.
It's amazing. So I've been doing a lot of sketching. I basically am keeping my sketchbook in Procreate right now. In a way, it's a little sad because I love sketchbooks. I hate starting new ones, and I don't think I'll never use them. But it really is like ridiculously fast. And if you make a mistake, you just delete your layer.
Right.
It's like,
that's
oh my
what
God.
I've heard is really incredible about it. And
it's that and the light, because you can do all of your whatever, and then you pop a layer on top, which has no effect on the layers below it. And you can just get glowing light. And that is why you see a lot of digital art that has such an incredible sense of light. And that's the reason why. That's why. It's just a lot easier to do. But I don't want to switch to digital. And that was like a really conscious decision I made probably about 10 years ago. But yeah.
Which is probably why you did not become a video game artist, because you wouldn't be a great video game artist as a profession.
Actually, being a concept artist is like my alternate dream career. I don't think I'm good enough, and it is 100% digital.
Jesus, it's so amazing.
It's like incredible, but the things that you can do digitally take a quarter of the time. to do
Yeah.
digitally than you can do traditionally. It really is that much of a difference. It's easy, it's fast, you can get all these crazy effects. But I think it's really important. You can shut me up anytime because I can really go on forever on this. There's something very human about physical media.
Mhm.
And there's something about the tradition and where everything came from. It all came from classical painting.
It's like
And
slow food. It's like slow
yeah,
anything. It's like slow
but
food.
the difference between that and fast food is that like there's a lot of really good digital art, whereas fast food is generally like really unhealthy. But yeah, like it's
It's a process. It's a way of doing something.
it's a
that's
different
slow.
process. But what I found is that I can incorporate it into my process to speed me up, and that gives me more studio time.
Yep.
And that's important. That's
Yep.
important.
Yep. No, I think it's I think everything has its value. All of
Yeah,
it
I agree.
has its
Like
value.
watercolor is its medium, oil is its medium. They have different workflows, they do different things, you can get different effects with them.
Yep.
And digital, again, is its own medium.
Yep.
And as much as it glows, you know, I'm an oily girl at heart,
Yep.
and it will never take the place of oil paint for me, ever. It can't. It just can't. And I
And-
got an oily heart.
You've got an oily heart. I have an oily
I
heart.
do. I have an oily and
Use
dusty heart.
acrylic. I have an acrylic heart.
You have a
Diana
quick
has
dry
an
heart.
acrylic heart.
She
Diana
has a quick
has an
dry heart.
acrylic. Yeah. Diana has a quick. I think that's great. You know, Diana, I'm working all in acrylic for my new show. So just so that you know, I'm not even touching oils right now, except in my
Wow.
studio on Sundays. Yeah, it happens. I do it. I go into a phase. There's certain things I like to do in acrylic, and I'm in that right now. And I just thought, oh my God, Diana would be so pleased. All right,
I love looking at the oil paintings you all do. It's just that.
but it's not. Yes, it's nice to switch it up sometimes, isn't
Yeah,
it? It is.
You have to go with what works best for your workflow.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not about being judgmental. It's
It's
at
some
all.
subjects for me are acrylic subjects, and some are, you know. Boy, anyway, I was totally I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am, totally doing oil. Just so that you guys know, I am kind of. Is that burnt umber? Good. I am kind of I'm cleaning up my tray, and I'm filling up whatever colors I'm out of. So as you know, I work with tubes, but the tubes dry. So some get like last night I got stuff in my yellows. So I actually went over with a little wet blankie with a little bit of wet water, and I cleaned up my trays so I could do fresh mixing. And also I cleaned up the tops of my yellows and then replenished with some white, some clean paint. So if you would like to do that, I totally welcome you to do that. I'm thinking for the orange today, we're going to be using definitely cadmium yellow. And if you have orange, we'll use that. Otherwise, you'll mix cadmium red and cadmium yellow together. And we'll also need ultramarine blue. Maybe burnt sienna. And then the yellow, I mean, we'll just want every yellow you've got. Is what I want you to get. Throw every yellow in your arsenal. If you've got gamboge or yellow ochre, you should put that out there. You should put a lemon yellow out. You should just grab all your yellows, give yourself all the different yellows. And then we're also going to mix, we'll also need some quinacridone red and ultramarine blue because we're going to mix a purple, which will be mixed with your yellow. And the big challenge here is not to get too murky with your, this is going to be a very delicate mix. You're going to be using complements, but very lightly. And I actually haven't done the orange, so I'll have to play around with that. So once I've done that, I've taken a picture, and I guess I could take a picture of this palette so you can see it. I actually have some cadmium orange here. I may or may not use it. We'll see. I might want to. Here. I might actually want to mix my orange, or I might mix a little bit of red. The orange looks like it has a lot of red in it, so I'll probably be using some of that. Where are you? Here's what my palette looks like currently.
What was the red you said?
Cadmium, orange, you know, a
Yeah,
very
but-
orangey red.
But to make the purple?
Oh, Quinn red.
Okay, I have alizarin. Will that do?
That should work. A cool red. A
Jean,
cool
you
red.
gonna come paint with me?
Okay.
Maybe.
Jean, you wanna go to Central Park?
Okay, is it gonna be nice tomorrow on Saturday?
I don't know. I have to check the weather.
So definitely, if you're going to use orange, you're going to still want to add a little bit of cadmium red to it. I'm playing around with my mixes right now. So a couple of things to remember. One, less is more with watercolor. And you're not going to start with a paint that's, let me show you. You're not going to start, your first layer is not going to be this dark, right? It's going to be more like this above. And you get that by getting paint on your brush and then dipping your brush in the water to make it lighter. So we're going to start very, very light. We are not going to get any paint it may be okay to get a little bit on the threads in between here, but I would avoid it. No paint on any of the white areas. So, and the dark areas, we're going to build up slowly. So even though this is fairly dark, we're going to start with something this light. We're not going to start with something like this. And it is perhaps, it's interesting. So I took cadmium red and cadmium yellow, and I mix them together. It's beautiful. Maybe a little bit more red. And I also took a tiny, just a corner, so little you can barely see it, a little touch of ultramarine blue. Not very much, not really to be seen. So for this inner fleshy part, actually really for all of the orange, there's going to be a tiny bit of ultramarine blue. Now let me show you what this looks like. It looks like, this is what it looks like. Here, I'll write it down. This is what orange plus alt blue looks like. Okay. It does not look, oh, here we go. Here we go. It does not look like this, right? Where I take too much blue and it gets stuck in there. It doesn't look like mud, right? It doesn't look like mud. It still looks orange, or even like this. This is too much blue. So that's what we don't want. So the blue is very subtle. And if you get too much blue in your mix, you're just going to want to take your blankie. And it makes me laugh every time I say that word. I don't, but it's so true. Like you just find
call it
yourself by
that
the
too.
end, your blankie,
No, I
you're just
call it that.
gripping
Yeah, it's
it,
my
like,
blankie.
right?
You
You grip
do.
your paper towel.
I
with
can't paint without
all-
the blankie.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
So when you're starting with the orange, and we're going to start with the center, we're going to go very, very light, super light. So you can see I have this paper for testing, and I'm not laying down anything until I've tested it. Got a little bit here. Yep. I can test on this area up here.
It was nice, your Instagram painting where you had like all your testing.
Oh, all my testing marks. Thank you. I love the testing marks, don't you? I feel like they're in this way, they're part of the process, and I love them. But there's not enough. I never have enough room. So I'm coming in here and painting. I'm going around all the white areas. And see how light it is? And kind of not as bright. Nope. I feel like my paint got too blue, so I'm pulling it off. Too much blue, so I'm going to mix more. red, cad yellow. Yep, way too bright. Tiny little blue, tiny little bit of blue. So the key with showing like the orange slices, and in a few places, ladies and gentlemen, you can, oh shoot, you can't really see here. Watch what I'm doing here. In a couple places, you can leave the slice unpainted. So if you want to, you can kind of paint it all like that one color, or you can leave a little bit of white in between the slices too. We're going to go back over with a darker color to get more of this variation, but you can leave a little white if you like. Notice how, I know it's darker than it looks. We are, yep, we're going to do that. Here, let me take a picture of this so you can really see it because it's a little tricky once again. There we go. And we're going to let it dry a little bit. We're going to let this paint dry. Yep, this is what we're going to do. Okay. And then let's take a my suggestion is the lemon yellow, very light lemon yellow. So I'm cleaning my brush. And that's going to come in here. If you want to use a different yellow, or if you want to mix your yellows, you're perfectly welcome to do that. But the key is it's a very light, damn it, come on. I get a better light, better view of the problem, of course, is that this doesn't show subtlety at all. So let me finish this and I'll show you what it actually looks like. Notice how light everything is here. So we want a kind of cool light, which will pop out against the warm light that the warm yellow that we've just laid down. The warm kind of shadowy yellow. And
Janet,
then
are you here?
I don't think she is. She said she got the shot today and she's feeling sick.
Okay.
Mm,
Thanks.
Yeah, she normally is. And then let's take some of the orange, go a little darker on this layer. And if you want to, I'm using my big brush, but if you want to, you can use a skinnier brush. Once again, let me get this on and I'll show you what this looks like. Get a picture of it because we're just not getting color today. Thanks, Zoom. There we go. So the orange on the outside should be a little brighter and a little bit darker to showcase the lightness of that yellow. Oh yeah, and either using your skinny brush or you can take a little bit of that orange and lay it in here too. Actually, orange with a touch of blue, I'd say. So almost a much darker. We've got a very dark area kind of in here. You can see it in the source. You can kind of see it here too. And I guess really there's a little bit of that. It's kind of a medium-y, lighter orange kind of in here between the whites. So you don't want to lose the white, but you do want to get in a little bit of that medium tone just for the variety. And you can see this is actually drying lighter. So I'm going to come back in. Oh, actually, I like using my pointy brush better. It's easier to control. With a stronger orange around the edge as it dries. If you go in too quickly, so we're now kind of trying to push, and I'm sorry, you guys, that the light is so sucky right now. So you really can't see the color, but I'll send it to you so you can see it. It's amazing how much you can't see the color. Like, what's going on here? It's definitely not. Yeah, it looks totally green. My orange does. Don't worry. For those of you watching the video, we have a better. Nope. We'll put the WhatsApp stuff up so that you can see it. It's amazing to me. It looks absolutely terrible. And I have, maybe that's a little bit better, but it still looks green. It looks completely green, and it's not green at all if you look at the pictures through WhatsApp. So is anybody ready for me to go on to the next step? So now we're going to layer a little bit darker in the orange itself. So we're getting more orange, a little bit more red in your orange. So put some cadmium in. Again, the tiniest touch of blue, not too much. And now I'm going to layer in kind of a little bit darker, but not everywhere. So I'm going to let some of these yellow bits come through. So you see how I'm kind of using my brush, the tip of my wide brush. And I'm trying actually kind of to follow where the reddest, most solid areas are as I see them. I'm not trying to do every single one, but I'm letting some of these lighter bits come through as well as the center points. And look at how already kind of the lusciousness that's in. And if you see areas that are kind of redder, get them in there a little bit. There's a couple of areas that are kind of redder here. It's a little bit redder down here. And then this lighter layer, which you put down first, that really kind of handles the light. You let some of that show through too. So it's like I'm kind of tapping in. And I'm like, okay, that's a little too wide. Testing first. Always, whenever I get a new scoop of paint, I test it first to see. I get that. Right. But the light here, the lighter areas here, they play such an integral part in how the colors show up. And we'll talk about lemon mixing in just a second. Now, if I wanted to, I might go in with a little bit of yellow and paint in this light yellow, the lines here, light yellow, but I'd want to make sure they really, so you could get rid of your white middle lines on this orange, because it's actually more, on the lemon, they're definitely lighter, and definitely one wants the little brush for that. So I'm going back to my lemon yellow. But I want to make sure I maintain my values, my light values. I don't want it to get too dark. So pleasant. Here's the thing about these paintings. They're always so pleasing to the eye. Everybody, if you post a picture of this painting, people are going to freak out. They're going to love it. No matter, like, even if you know, there's a lot of ways to do this and there's a lot of range. Here, I'm going to take a picture of it just to send it over. You can see it where it is now. And I might go back in even once again, one more layer, particularly in here, where I want it to read as darker against my lighter yellow. But I'm still not trying to do kind of total coverage of every color. I'm trying to let the colors kind of lay in this spotty format. There you go. It looks a little bit better. I could keep playing with this forever. Notice that it always kind of dries a little bit lighter. Now I'm going in with straight orange and no blue, just to kind of darken up, adds, not everywhere, but where the white and the orange slices meet. Taking a little water, spreading it out a little bit. So it looks complicated, but here's what's just awesome about watercolor. Just the paint hitting the paper with the water is going to create the texture you need, right? You don't have to work for this texture. It's just there. It's just going to be there. And you don't have to control it. So here, let me take a picture of this. This is kind of, I think this is probably where I'm going to stop on this one, because I feel like might have gone a little too dark on my yellow. So I'm actually going in with a wet cloth, see if I can dab it off a little bit. This is why I'm saying, don't go too dark. Even if you think you're using a color that's lighter, it's easy to lose your values in when you're doing watercolor. So I love to see it when you guys have a orange slice that you're happy with. Take a minute. I'll be right back. Let me get a little water. Whoops.
Jean, are you still teaching Saturdays?
Not this Saturday, so that's why I was saying, let's see if it's My student just asked me if we could move it to Sunday, so.
Okay. Let me check the weather now. Since we have phones and apps that tell us everything.
Oh,
They're
magic.
supposed to be smart. They call them smartphones. I'm wondering about that stuff. Oh, 65, 56, sunny. Let's go. Where do you
That
want to
works
go?
For me, that's perfect.
That works for me too. I'd like to go out in the morning because it's less intense sunlight,
Mhm,
but
that
it's
works.
still like nice. So
What time?
yeah, but I also don't want to wake up at stupid o'clock, you know, because it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
send it over, guys, when you've got something to show me. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
oh no, you're not. I'm gonna get Jean out painting with me, and anybody else who wants to join us. We're gonna go to Central Park somewhere.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
I
Oh
want
yeah, I
to,
want
but
you
I
to come
can't.
with.
Hmm. Diana and I want to come. We can't. We would totally be there.
I know you would.
Yes.
Leah, should I have Jean tackle landscape or
Yes.
water or
Landscape.
water?
Landscape.
Like trees, or should we throw some water in there?
Don't throw some water in there yet. Get her to. She's ready for. She's killing it with landscapes and pastels.
Oh yeah, Jean, bring your pastels.
Oh, I don't
Bring
know.
your
They're
unison.
so messy, I could never get clean.
No, yeah, no, I got stuff. It's fine. No, we'll be outdoors. You're fine. Totally fine. Bring your unisons. Let's do it. I'm going oily, but bring your unisons. You're in the 40s on the west side. Oh, let's go up to Pinetum. I love Pinetum. It's just such a happy place.
Where's that?
You go in the park at 86th Street, West 86th, and it's like right there.
Okay.
It's right by Seneca Village.
That's pretty,
So,
Jean.
Pinetum, the sole intention of Pinetum when it was created was
Mhm.
to be a place for people to hang out with pine trees,
Oh, cool.
which is like there's nothing in the world that's cooler than that. I love Pinetum. Everybody there is always happy. People are going, you'll see them. When we're out there, you're going to see them. They literally go and they walk around just admiring pine trees. It's fantastic. It's such an experience. Let's do Pinetum Saturday morning.
Okay.
And Jean, this is beautiful. I'm really happy with your orange. It's beautiful. Nice mark making. So
that is
notice
nice,
how
Jean.
different Jean's mark making is from mine, right? Like notice how
Beautiful.
she chose to do, like how that worked. Both of them completely work.
Oops.
So this is what I love.
Jean, how's 11:30? Is that too early?
I was gonna
Let's
say
go later.
that seems like we're gonna hit high noon sunshine.
I know we probably will. It's just because it's a long train ride for me and I don't want to wake up at stupid o'clock. You
Okay.
want to say 1 p.m.?
No,
we can get
we can be
afternoon light?
11:30. No, we can, or whatever works for you, I can do.
Let's say 1 p.m.
Okay.
I'm going to text you. You'll love it. It's like the best place.
Yes, Eugene. Although I really like this composition. That's gorgeous. I love the sky. Yeah. The question is exactly how. Yeah, just maybe bring the road up, make it really skinny and come up this hill, right? So it's as if it goes down and then over, like, and then what I would do is darken, take a little bit of dark green like you've got here and create a kind of barrier, like create a kind of boundary between the grasses here and that back plane. And then I think you can make a little, it'll look like it goes down, the road goes down, and then what we can see, right? So this is like a little hill that goes down and then up and over. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Oh my God. Your mixing
Thanks,
has
Alfonso.
gotten really good. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're using the, yep, indeed. I mean, you could also do it the way this is, but I like this block. I like this block that you have here. It's different than what's happening in the painting that you're working with. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Good job, you guys. Like, so good.
Oh, Jean's plein airing with me on Saturday. So excited.
Stop making us jealous.
I'm sorry. We did last weekend though. I met two new painting friends. We have like this little painting group. Jean, if my friend Grace comes into the city, she might join us. There's a group, plein air painters in Central Park. This lady named Greta runs it. I've been a member of that group for 11 years and I never painted with them before last week. And she posed as a samurai or a geisha under the cherry tree.
That
Oh,
looks
I
like
love
that
that
was a
It was
great
painting.
painting.
amazing.
Oh,
That was a great
It's such an
yeah.
amazing day. It's a beautiful, amazing day.
Jillian, how's it going? Send me where you're at.
It's good. I'm just being slow. So
Okay. All
I'm
right.
trying
To follow process. I appreciate it.
yeah. But I'm
I
gonna
like
send
it.
it soon. I'm just going around the outline.
Okay, excellent. And I love, okay, so let me show you, let's talk about the lemon now, because the lemon is even more key. The subtlety is even more key. Let's see, coming over here. I'm gonna take my blankie, clean up my mess here, right? So the lemon is gonna need, do you guys have either yellow ochre or gamboge? Either of those would work. Yellow?
Yellow ochre.
Either yellow ochre, great. Okay, so you're gonna want to mix. Oh, and I want to clean up a little bit of the red out of it. So now red leaves the equation, right? We're not really looking at orange anymore. We're going kind of to straight yellows. But our yellow is slightly shaded. So we're going to mix. I'm gonna mix. I've got actually mixing. Here, actually, let me start with this. I'm going to start by mixing a touch of purple. So I'm taking ultramarine blue and quinacridone red or alizarin crimson, a cool red, right? To make a kind of bluey purple here, like this. I think you can see it off in the corner here. And then cleaning my brush off, squeezing it with my blankie. And then I'm going to grab some yellow. And I'm actually mixing my cadmium yellow and my regular yellow, and then a touch of yellow ochre or gamboge, like this. And then I'm going to pull just a tiny bit of the purple in, and not too much, because as you can see, if I come down, or up here is even better. Here, hold on, up here. As you can see, we want it to be kind of mustardy, but not too purple. You still want it to read as yellow, but we need a touch of purple. And actually, when I'm looking at this, I see more cadmium yellow and gamboge than lemon yellow. So skip the lemon yellow for the center and go with the more cadmium and yellow ochre. Something a little bit warmer, and then it
What
just
is
touches.
gamboge?
Gamboge is like a yellow that's like a, it's a watercolor. I've never really seen gamboge in oil. I mean, maybe it does exist, but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Is it close to yellow ochre?
It's just, that's why I'm saying you could use them alternatively. Yeah.
Okay.
Here
So-
is, let me see if I can show you what this is gamboge. Wait, my brush is too dry. This is gamboge. And that's yellow ochre. Gamboge is slightly more, here, I'll write them down. And
Yeah,
gamboge is a great,
Are you sending us the mix that you're doing?
yep.
Okay.
The mix is just the complements, right? So it's purple and yellow. Oh, come here, you. Okay. And then, yes, I'll send over the mix as well, the lemon mix. So the inside of the lemon, there you go. The inside of the lemon here, and I'll get it, is gamboge or yellow ochre. Cad yellow and a touch of purple, but not too much. So I'll send you a color of I'll send you what this looks like, and then the mix. There it is. It's down here. Here I have a test of it. Where's my pen? So what you want, it's drawing in a funny way. Here, I'm going to do it down here so you guys can really see it on the top of my paper. So what you want is something that looks like slightly smoky orange, yellow, like this. So this has a touch of purple in it. Here. So if you take a picture of it, it's got cad yellow plus yellow ochre or gamboge plus purple. So it's not exactly, just like the orange, there's a touch of the complement in, but it's not enough to make it look dark and muddy. It's just a little bit less. And I think because we might grab a little red to add in later on later layers. Might put a little bit of orange in, but on this layer, it's definitely gamboge, cad yellow, purple. And then once again, I'm going to go real light on my base layer. So I'm, laying in my color, and I'm totally this time preserving in the lemon the white strips between. I'm still also kind of laying it down. I kind of forgot to do that up here. Here, let me grab a little. Yep. Okay. There are kind of slightly orangey layers because I think partly because the orange is like the orange skin that we can't really see is reflecting on the yellow. So this is looking a little bit oranger, and we'll add that in layers. And then once again, totally leaving this area white, but getting that little yellow rind. So let me take a picture of this so you can see it. But by the way, you guys, your paintings are all looking great. So, oh, nice, Marianne. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is it okay?
Oh, God, yes. This is what Gina is trying to capture in her self-portraits that you got.
I'm always yelling at her that she has too much detail.
Mm-hmm. And her paintings go, and her drawings go too dark. Like there's no light areas at all, really, except in little speckles and spots.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think because if there's any like
This is so beautiful.
texture, she wants to represent it.
Yep. Yep. And but I'm working with her on it. I mean, I know we're both working with her on it. We're talking her.
Yeah.
We're trying. And it helps that she's trying to capture femininity, because to me, that's a really hard thing to capture. By the way, I think you've got it here just beautifully. It's so wonderful. I know she can't send this across the thread because this is all right. Hold on. Well,
Oh,
anyway,
right.
there's recordings and all kinds of stuff. I don't think, is Gina going to see the recording? I don't
She's not
think
going to watch it.
No. So Gina's birthday is coming up, and Gina's got asked to do some paintings. If anybody here would like to do a painting for Gina, that would be awesome. And Marianne is doing this wonderful painting of Gina, and I was just saying how much she's gotten. Here, look at it. Even the base.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
That's
fantastic.
beautiful.
You got it. Like, getting femininity is really hard. And I'm not just talking about in a trans face. I think it's just hard in any face to get it. So like, it's like, it is hard.
Yeah.
So, and it has to do with not having so much detail. Anyway, we'll get her there.
Yeah.
Does Gina have an Instagram?
Yeah.
Does she?
I think it's Gina Chua NYC, but I think I follow you, don't I, Jessica?
I think you do.
Yeah. I'll try to send it to you.
Okay, thanks. Hold on.
I'm Light No Sugar.
Light No Sugar, yes.
And
My
Gina
favorite.
is I believe it's Gina Chua NYC.
I am not seeing it.
Okay. So, and by the way,
CHUA.
Hold on.
the trick on the top layers of this is you want to get a little bit of red mixed in, or orange mixed in with your yellow, but you don't want it to look the same. It should look more yellow. So the orange is subtle. So as you layer in your top layers, you still want to make sure there's more yellow than orange, right? And like before, you're holding on. And let's see, there's this kind of beautiful, I'm going to take my, looks like orange and blue. There's a beautiful orange and blue center here.
Yeah, it's almost a grapefruit slice.
Yeah, it is. That's what it looks like, but it's not. And the reason is it's got some of that orange slice reflecting on it, right? That's what it is. It's like the orange slice is reflecting on it. So I'm like,
not getting that color right.
yeah, it's okay. We don't have to get that color.
Oh, I have this thing on watercolor. I keep meaning to send it to you, Leah.
Yeah.
It's this, I did this like urban sketchers trip, and one of the sessions was on watercolor, and this guy had this like way of approaching it, and it called like tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find it. And so
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. It was like, I think I did this 10 years ago, but it was a a handout, and I came across it recently.
I wonder if we added a little Quinn red instead of like a little pink in to the mixture. That might work. You know what? That actually works. If you have any quinacridone red, or maybe even alizarin might be too dark, so use it very
Yeah, it didn't work for
slight.
me.
It's alizarin is too dark. If you've got Quinn red or permanent red or rose, you can pull in a touch of that with your yellow and purple on your next layer. But not too much.
Marianne, I found Gina. Oh, sorry, Leah.
Oh, Jillian, that looks great. Looks wonderful. Don't forget to get your like sort of dark center in here, but that looks wonderful.
I think I need to go over the orange with another layer though.
I would, yes, maybe, so add a little bit of cadmium red to your mix,
Okay.
and that'll make it. And now I'm pulling like, let's see, I've got yellow, I've got a little purple, and I'm adding a touch of more quinacridone. So purple actually, to get that sort of peachy, sort of grapefruity, but you want to be careful with the lemon. Better not to try and replicate too much the lemon colors.
Found it. I'm gonna send it to everyone.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please do. But the key, of course, is really keeping this area white, right? And then the lemon, you'll see in the background, actually, we do have kind of a murky dark. So we could take, here, hold on, I'm trying to move this over so everybody can see oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, here. No, hold on. I'm going to go right here. Yes, there we go, because we can actually see the lemon part, and the mixing will happen here. Yep, hang on, I've got this. I'm going to scoot this a little bit over like that. Yeah. Okay, so this lemon in the background, what you can see is that it's much darker. So I can take cad yellow and maybe some gamboge or lemon ochre, yellow ochre, and I can mix a little bit more purple in so that it gets a little bit darker. So if you see, I'm mixing my purple over here. Oh, no, you can't. So here's my cad yellow, and then here's my purple. And then I'm going to try and pull more in to make it darker. So cad yellow is coming here. So I have something that's a little bit more mustardy, like that. You could even do a little bit more. Yep. So this can be fairly dark. This can be fairly dark down here, because this area is definitely in shadow. Ugh. I feel like I'm getting too murky. More blanky. Let's remix. The remix. So let's start with purple. There we go. There's purple, cleaning up my brush, cleaning it out, pulling in gamboge and cad yellow and mixing them together to get this kind of darker. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. So this actually does read a little bit like mud. That's okay. That's what this layer looks like. Oops, went too far up. This layer kind of gets very skinny right here. Comes out more like this. And then there's definitely orange in the yellow. So there's more yellow, less purple. There's still some purple, and there's a touch of orange. In the yellow. Yep. So you still have purple in the mix, but you've added more orange. Orange is kind of coming up here. And then like a kind of actual orange layer. And between these, you're going to try and softly blend. So as you notice, as this is drying, it's getting too light, so I need to go in with a darker layer again. Get this in. As I get this in, I'm going to kind of softly try to blend into the lighter layers. Then I'm going to clean my brush out. I'm going to clean my pan out. And I'm going to go back to that yellow ochre or gamboge, cad yellow, a touch of orange or cadmium red, and a touch of blue. Oh, too much blue. Let's try that again. Gamboge, yellow ochre, a touch of orange or cadmium red, and then teeny bit of blue. And then that becomes kind of this lighter outer layer. Now notice I'm going around the yellow splotch. I'm going to treat that differently. And then this is just a pale yellow, like a lemon yellow, nothing in it, no shadow really. You want it to be a cool yellow. So see the difference between the two? I'll take a picture so you can really see it. Oh, that's probably a little too bright, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit. And then I can go in with more orange, kind of around the edges, right? I can darken. I can do a soft edge, just like I do with anything, just like I do with acrylic paint. Oops, too dark. But I can definitely blend yellow up. Into this darker orange. I can go back in and darken this with purple and yellow. It's kind of dark under here too.
I have a rat and raccoon on my head, on the edge of mine.
On the edge of your...
Yeah, it looks, wow.
You mean really? Like for
No,
real?
no, it looks like it's a mix between a rat and raccoon right
Oh.
I thought you were about to be pounced
Like,
by.
yeah, me too. I thought like there was actually like on your, like watching you paint or something.
now. Oh, that would
Maybe
be,
you invented a new animal. It's a raccoon.
yeah, raccoon. That's what I
Yeah.
have here. A
I think that's
raccoon.
really
A
cool.
raccoon.
I want one.
A raccoon.
My new
A
pet.
raccoon.
Yeah. I'm always on the lookout for cool new pets.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God. Yesterday I was telling we had this sort of drama with a squirrel. He got caught, his little claws got caught in the telephone wires above my studio. And he was
no.
oh, it's awful. He was going crazy trying to
That's
get
sad.
out, screaming and crying. And you know, the way squirrels scream, it like was
Aw.
really sad. So, so we called the electric company, and the guy came and he went up in his little, thing, and he just, with his gloves reached over and plucked the squirrel's tangles out. The Yeah, and he ran away, the squirrel did. So I mean, maybe he survived.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I mean,
yeah.
it totally looked like he had contorted himself out of it was bad.
If he ran away, he's okay.
Yeah, he ran down and then he hid under like a thing. And anyway, he was
Yeah, he's
terrified.
fine.
They say he's got they die of like heart attacks more than anything else. And then to finish this,
oh,
guys,
Mm.
I would recommend you could do a couple things. We could mix a little bit of green, viridian green, and red to create a kind of olivey green background, right? To sort of get in, oh, not enough red. So you could kind of like loosely, I don't know if I like that color. I don't really like that color. I want more, better, something better. I'm gonna try burnt sienna and viridian green. Yeah, there we go, something orangier. So you could try like just kind of loosely, not too, getting a little bit of leaf action in, not too much, but just enough. And then back here, you can kind of do a soft wash to show, like I could totally do a soft wash. I mean, you want to leave white. Strategically, you really would like to leave white in a few places. So you want to make sure a fair amount of white is left on your composition, but maybe you want to add a little purple. I'm just doing straight purple now, not mixed with anything. Although I'm totally mixing it with what's here. Let's see, let's try that again. You could try a little bit of purple, right? In some areas, like kind of maybe watery here, right? Maybe a little bit down here, but leave some white, a significant amount of white in your background, because that will really help. Yeah, I think I might do that. So I'm bringing in a little purple here. So I've got a little bit of green. Oh, and the other thing I've done, which is kind of fun, my gosh, is I've also taped this painting. So once again, if I want it to look really fancy, I can pull the tape off for this beautiful kind of natural edge without pencil line. So that's, anyways, let me take a picture of this. So I encourage you to get creative with the background. Oh, that's cool, Marianne. Oh, Diana, he's coming along. The guy doesn't look like a rat.
it does.
It does not. It looks great. He looks like a kitty. He looks like Tony the tiger.
It's okay.
It's gonna have that. It always has the awkward face. I'm looking at what Marianne's got here. Yeah, I mean, learning how people paint is like really important. Let's see. One. Pour the tea. Yep. So we kind of did the same thing, right? Transparent washes. Oh, that's lovely. Pour the tea. Touch with milk. Oh, this is great. Semi-opaque mixes. And actually, strangely, that's pretty much what we did. And then the honey, the contact shadows. That is brilliant. I'm going to remember that, Marianne. I love it. The T method.
I'm not
See?
seeing that. Maybe.
It's on the thread.
Oh, that's cool.
It's great.
Nice.
All right. Be right back.
What you complaining about, Julia?
They always complain. Diana, I love your kitty fountain painting.
It looks really awkward right now.
Actually, I like it. It's a fun one.
Does sorry for the dogs in the background, they're playing, but does anyone have a favorite, like a Leah, do you have a pochade box? Or Jessica, do you have a pochade box?
I have 3.
What's
What
a good
is
one?
that?
What?
What
What
is that?
It's like a wooden box for
Okay.
air painters.
Oh, okay. So it actually has a name.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Oh yeah. Hold on. So your box and your plein air setup really depends on your needs. This is my little one, my 8x10 Belly River. She was handmade in Missouri. I have been using her for 11 years. I've taken her everywhere. She fits in carry-on and airplanes. She's the one I use most often. My very first one was in a box, also handmade. And then I have a 11x14 that goes to that goes to something. 14x17. And I need a hiking backpack for it. But my total weight, including the tripod with my large setup, is 21.6 pounds, which is not that bad.
Come on, baby.
If you want to talk about pochade boxes, I can talk to you. I'm not sure that this is the right time to do that because I don't want to like overtake Leah's lesson. I do have personal, so
Jean's like, great, yet another thing I'm gonna get totally
love my
angelic
favorite
by.
I love her so much.
Hey, but you just got a 2-week bonus, Jean, so.
No, but the boxes, the thing about boxes though is that it's like a one-time investment.
Yep.
And
it's good to think about it,
like,
because they're kind of a
I
pain in
think
the
you
ass.
need to research it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should research it. No, they're not. They're wonderful, but you need to know your setup and your individual needs. Like I have individual needs that are different than other people's because I don't drive. So I need to be able to physically carry everything. And I'm 5 feet tall, right? I'm strong for my size, but I'm still 5 feet tall, like little girl.
You are a teeny, but such a force, but such a dang force.
Oh, thank you.
Jean, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
so I love boxes.
I I like my shadows.
I love your shadows, and I love the, oh
If
my
you're gonna get
God.
a box match, please research it first.
Beautiful. And you know what else I like, Jean? I like the dark
Who was asking?
that you got in here.
I think it was
Put it,
Jean.
I'm sorry, put it in the WhatsApp. Whoever was asking about Pashads, put it in the WhatsApp.
Oh,
Because I don't
wonderful.
want to bomb Leah's class. Like I already have. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Leah.
don't
Sorry,
worry
Leah.
about it. I'm just sitting here waiting for people to send stuff in. We can chatter all we want. Jean, it's beautiful. Good job. Good job.
I just
I love
realized
it.
I didn't put the dark in the lower one.
But
so-
I love, yeah, so add that in, but see how nicely you got it. You got yours better than mine. I just realized, oh, I got to go back in and do mine as nice as Jean got hers. Yeah, come on. Getting in there.
Jean, we're gonna meditate with
Okay. I'm
on
totally
Saturday.
pleased.
That
gonna be
sounds
so nice.
wonderful. So you guys gonna
It's such a
jump
good
into
time.
class, or are you going to beginning drawing, or are you just gonna go do your own
Anybody
thing?
else who's in New York City can join us.
Are you gonna jump into the beginning
Probably
drawing
not.
class?
I'm probably not going to.
Okay. You're welcome. You could.
I probably won't. If Jean wants to, she can. I probably won't.
I have so
Just
much
because
to
I'm
get
going to soak
done,
up pine tree vibes.
and I'm going to be spending my afternoon painting, so I better
That's
not.
wonderful. I love it.
Because
And then
I
you'll be,
spend all
oh,
day
and there's
Sunday making
no, Marie has no class on Sunday. I'm about to send a note out.
Oh.
She has
You
something
did send a
going on.
note out.
Did I send a note out? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so no, but I might want to send it out on all the threads.
Okay, is her dad okay?
Lillian, it's wonderful. That's great. I love it.
Yours looks so dramatic on the screen, and I don't know whether it is.
This one?
Yeah.
Yours? Yeah, I mean, well, here's the picture of it, so you can see it. I've been sending pictures all along. So here, hold on. This is what it really looks like.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
Aha.
I think it looks great. So yeah, this is a pretty strong dark here. What actually happened is I kind of lost it because I tried to layer in darks on top while it was still wet. So now I'm waiting till this dries before I get my truly darkest layer in. What is?
Okay.
Can I tell you this? Well, it's quiet.
Your internet is unstable, so we can't hear you.
Mine? Really?
Yes.
Oh, that sucks. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Can I tell you a story while it's all quiet?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a Goya
Unless
show.
somebody wants help. So
Yes,
as long
and
as
then
somebody
please
jumps
interrupt.
in, yeah.
Yes, I'll make it fast. So there's a Goya show up at the Met. It closes on May 6th. And I needed to go see it before it closed, so I went on Sunday. It was awesome. And if you're in New York City, go see it for sure, 1000%. But then, you know, they've been doing renovations on the European painting wing. And it's been closed for a while and it is open now. So I went to go visit my very favorite painting that's in there, which is Young Woman with a Pink by Hans, and she is in my background because I love her. I have been for years. She's a very special painting for me, and she wasn't there.
Aw.
And I was, if you haven't seen the movie The Maiden Heist, you need to go. like I lost something really special. And I was really like genuinely upset. And I know that's it, like most people would not understand that about having a connection to a painting, but I absolutely love this painting. And I was really, really, really upset that she wasn't there. And she wasn't in the memoing room. They had other memlings up and they weren't nearly as nice. I mean, I love memoing, but you know, not my painting. She's not there. It was very sad. I was sad enough that I Googled who the curators are at the Met for the European wing. And I emailed one. I just picked the first one I found and I emailed him. And he responded to me the next day. He actually wrote me back the next
Really?
day. With a really, really, not only did he write me back the next day, he was so nice. He was just like the nicest guy, like
Yay.
this doctor. He's like this Dr. Adam Eaker person. And I said, like, she's really special. She should be hanging. And he said, thank you so much for sharing your enthusiasm about the painting. I love this one too. And he said to me, you know, as you've noticed, you know, we've been doing renovations, which yes, I've noticed. They only have 50% of their wall space right now. And because of that, they've had to make hard decisions about what paintings to put on view, but they're rotating the collection and the whole thing will be back on display end of 2022 to the beginning of 2023. And he was so nice about it. And he understood, which was like the best thing. He like, here's somebody who understands that I'm so sad that I can't visit a painting. And that was my happy story. So she's going to come back. And if you find a Met curator and email them because you love a painting, they'll be really nice to you and they'll respond.
Aw,
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
that is really
Yeah.
great.
Has anyone seen the Frick is it at the Guggenheim?
No, the Frick is its own building.
No. The Frick is undergoing a renovation and they've taken a whole bunch of their
They
stuff
are too.
at the Guggenheim. So
Oh,
now
I
you
gotta go to the
you can now
Guggenheim
get
now.
up really close to the paintings that you couldn't when they were up on a big wall at the Frick.
Which
So-
ones? Because you could get up close to the Frick. They have some nice
And
hangs
some,
there.
but some of
But,
the, yeah, it's a whole, I don't remember what section it is, but they've moved it to the Guggenheim while
They don't let you take.
But you can while it's at the Guggenheim.
I kind of hate the Guggenheim. Go to the bathroom. No, I'm serious, like totally serious, because the building is so bizarre that it's like the bathrooms are bizarre. So if you go to the Guggenheim, you have to go in the bathroom. But mostly, I hate their stuff. It's crap, I think. But I'm opinionated, so you know, if you think
but if
differently,
it's
I have
good
respect
stuff.
for that.
The Guggenheims were weird. Very weird. They're weird.
You know, I did
people.
see years and years ago, I did see an excellent surrealism show at the Guggenheim, which was a wonderful show. But mostly it's like they have so much crap in that building. And the building itself is so cool. So maybe if the Frick has some of their stuff up there, maybe that's worth a visit.
No, I think it's the other way
maybe.
around, right? Isn't it? Or was it the
No,
other way?
the Frick has some of their stuff up at the Guggenheim because they're renovating
Right.
one of the big rooms at the Frick. So
Right.
Are they? I love the Frick. I
me
love
too.
the
It's
Frick.
my favorite.
Love
See
it there.
What was it? Hilma de Klim?
the pastel lady, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
no,
Oh my God.
nuts.
Oh
she
my
was the
God.
first,
So
she was basically
nuts.
the first surrealist, and
Yes.
her
Yep.
stuff was
Yeah, she was
amazing.
Swedish.
Yes,
Is
that
she at the Guggenheim right now?
she
No.
was at the Guggenheim. She's not
She
anymore.
had a whole show of her about
She is super cool. She had in her will, she had all her paintings in storage. And when she died, she put in her will that no one could open the storage until she had been dead for 50 years because she considered herself ahead of the time.
and she was so right.
And she was
Yeah.
like,
What's her last name? Spell it.
Klimt.
Clint.
Klimt.
It's two
Klimt.
words, AF
Yeah.
and then Clint.
It's like Klimt, but with an N instead of an M.
Yeah. And her first name was Hilma.
Yeah, if you
Hilma.
search Hilma and Guggenheim, you'll find her.
Yeah.
She's
was
amazing.
I need to
She
do
is,
this.
she has definitely changed added to the conversation.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is a super cool lady, or was.
Oh, I bet. There's a pastel artist, and I actually I'm embarrassed to say I forgot her name, but she's at the Frick, or was, or will be. I forgot. And she was a 1700s pastel painter when pastel portraits were in style, because then they went out of style. And she, for being, you know, and it was unusual for a woman to have renown, and she was. And she's like, she's got my dusty heart, and she's at the Frick.
No, you can't be there. No. Julia.
We all like say the same things to our cats. Stop
Yeah,
it.
no,
You can't be there. It's not dinner time yet.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
here.
Here's a
Come
pin.
here.
Here's
Here,
a pin I
kitty,
got.
kitty.
Yes.
Hilma,
Here she is, the little rascal. Say hi to my friend
Yeah.
Julia.
Hi,
That's how-
Julia.
Hi,
Say hi
baby
to my
cat. Oh,
Baby
I
cat.
love
She
her.
is a baby
It's so
cat.
amazing.
Yeah, she's a baby cat.
She's a
That-
baby
that-
cat.
That exhibit of the Hilma af Klint stuff just blew
Blew
me.
your mind. Oh, blew it open for you, right?
Yeah, in a
Yep.
completely different way.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah.
I gotta go check her out.
And people that work in the media get in free.
Yeah, I
Oh.
used-
I don't.
I used my
Just have to show your media pass.
I
I
used
don't have a media pass.
they just let anyone from Thomson Reuters in for free.
I'm not Thomson Reuters. I'm Refinitivian.
Do you still
Yeah,
have an
I'll
old
check it
ID line around? They wouldn't know.
Probably. I have my old Reuters ID, but it doesn't have the logo because they were so specific about that when it was Reuters at 3 Times Square.
Right.
They're like, your ID does not show your corporate identity on purpose because we don't want anybody coming in the building if you lose your ID.
I bet you could show it and they don't care. They'll go, oh, okay. Let you in.
Maybe. But you know what? If I go, I kind of also don't mind paying because they probably really need the funding right now. So I'm a member at the Met. I'm a member of Natural History. And if the Guggenheim needs a couple dollars, I kind of like, I'm okay with that because it's an art institute and then I'm supporting them. So it's fine. I'm not like, you know, I can handle it. So I'll pay them.
Oh my gosh, we are at the end of, check it out. It's like 5:30, 8:30 already.
How
Okay.
did that happen?
I don't know. See, last night it was so hard. Like, right, Diana? This week it's like